March hair. You never know when he's going to show up. But just in time, so please stand on up. Join us. We're going to do some wacky stuff this month of August, so be prepared for whimsy. And the first sing-along song is from the delightful Mary Poppins, and it's Let's Go Fly a Kite. With toppings for paper and strings, you can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird and flying, your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Say hi to the people around you. Ready to sing with the verse and chorus. When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a
Good morning. Yes, you've probably noticed we're a little stiff around here, a little formal. We're trying to lighten up, but you can see it's kind of hopeless. Look at the minister. I'm Bruce Fredenberg. I'm one of the staff ministers here, and my ministry is Science of Mind and Mental Health, and apparently I'm in the right place here. And so are you. So are you. Welcome. If you have not been here before, and you're worried about whatever you did last night, well, forget about it, because we don't care what you did last night or last year. We're interested in what you're going to do next. The French have a saying when you're walking up the staircase and you're saying, that's what I should have told them. It's called staircase wisdom. Well, set it aside, because yesterday ended last night. We are a trans-denominational, trans-spiritual center for spiritual living, and what we do here is we teach spiritual principles. And if you learn them and put them into practice, you can literally change every facet of your life for the better. So if there's anything in your life that you think is going too good, well, that's too bad. Because that's not likely to change unless you change it. And if it's not going the way you want, well, you have a choice in that too, and we can show you how. So welcome, and the way we're going to start is by reading the Flames of Faith, which is a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the path of the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Pam Rock lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And now if you'll join me in an affirmative prayer. Right here, right now, I consciously turn my attention to knowing the truth. I set aside any preconceived notions of separation and recognize that there is, in fact, in truth, only one life, one mind, one power, and I am that mind in expression right here, right now. As each of us is a divine idea in mind, expressing more love, more joy, more peace, more delight. Each of us, Spirit's vehicle, extended into this realm and space to do what life does, to express more of itself. And so I know for each person here that each person is today, right here, in this service, hearing whatever it is and getting whatever it is we came here to get that removes the last barrier to understanding and accepting the truth that we can and are able to actually live the life of our dreams. So I know that this truth, this good is already given. It already exists. So I do my part. I simply agree to accept it without any reservations at all, knowing that I do not have to create the power. I just accept this power and allow it to make my life more and more wonderful. And same for everybody here. So I give thanks for it. I release it into these perfect laws that act with absolute precision, can always be relied on. I claim that any healing that needs to take place in any person, anywhere, for this good to be accepted without any conditions, that this healing is occurring right here, right now. And if we pay attention, this healing is palpable. So I give thanks and I release it to these laws and anchor it with me as together we say, and so it is. And now, Joanne Leone.
Are we ready with heart and feeling? Say the Declaration of Principles. These believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon the law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice Now the affirmation for today. Today, I playfully embrace a new idea about myself, seeing my life filled with limitless possibilities. I encounter the impossible as possible. I too have often done 6 impossible things before breakfast. And so it is. So you are.
Thank you so much. And please welcome the Colombo Brothers.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Aloha. Aloha. We are so happy to be here. We are the Colombo Brothers. My name is Ryan. My name is Kai. And we are really brothers. Some people ask us that sometimes. Our mom is right over here. So she brought us to all you wonderful people. So we love you, Mambo. We're going to start off with a song that we wrote. This song is called Understanding Next to Me. And some of you guys might know this song. I know we have some fans out there. But if not, this song is about, it's 2019. There's a lot of interesting viewpoints out there. We don't have to agree with everybody. But what we do have to do is try to find common ground, because it's always there. So understanding next to me, we can get things done if we're standing next to each other, working together. Nobody's in front, nobody's behind, but we're all standing next to each other, finding that connection, finding that power, right? You got everything you need, brother? All right. Hallelujah. All right, boys, let's do it. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give it up for this band.
You'll never see what I see in your eyes. I hear what you're telling me in your lies. You say up, I say down. I can travel around the world and stay in your hometown. We're on different frequencies. It's alright. We're all sharing the same planet, baby. Can't you see? Understanding could be easy when you're standing next to me. Whoa, yeah. Can't see what I'm showing you in your eyes. It's just a certain point of view. What you say, you go left, I go right. We're dancing through the day and you're romancing through the night. Yeah, you'll never believe in me. It's alright.
So I sent it at least 3 different ways. So I sent it on the One Call Now. I sent it on the Constant Contact. And I told people. So,
And it was announced.
and it was announced. So, for the whole month of August, we're being silly. We're taking it lightly, and we are celebrating and using for our inspiration Alice in Wonderland. So feel free for the rest of the month to do something that shows that you have taken in the spirit of Alice as the Mad Hatter, as Alice herself, and thank you, band, for the green bows and things. I really appreciate everybody playing. It's really about seeing that we don't have to be deadly serious in order to learn spiritual principles, in order to have tools for transformation. Actually, there's way more availability of bliss and joy. It's right where each one of us is. In fact, I have heard that if you really understood the magnificence of the universe, you would be it's breathtaking, it's magnificent. You would be thrilled with ecstasy and joy, or you might just roll over on the ground laughing. It is an amazing universe that we live in. And that's what so the whole month is encountering the impossible as possible. Encountering the impossible as possible. And yes, it comes from Alice in Wonderland, and I'll get into that in a bit. But first of all, sometimes it feels like our spiritual journey seems impossible. And yet, at the end of a journey, or at the beginning of the new part of the journey, when if it is someone's desire to become a practitioner, they become practitioners, that possibility is just now a reality. So I'd like to start by acknowledging our 3 newest practitioners. I want them to come up, and I want them to also bring, if they have support people with them here today, to bring those people with them. Cheryl Lyman is here. Kay Allen is here. Gloria Goodman is here. And their teacher, Kathy Story. One of their teachers, Kathy Story. Of course, Reverend Patty is in Huntington Beach. She can't be here. Can't be in 2 places at the same time. And her assistants. We've got lots and lots and lots. So I've had this. So we'll start. I think, Kate, you're the youngest person I've ever licensed as a practitioner. Congratulations. You can tell your age if you want, but you don't have to.
I'm 22.
Yay! And who did you bring as your support today?
My twin sister, Carissa.
Cheryl, you don't have to tell your age, but you could.
Yes. No, I want to. I'm 75 and I'm starting a new career. And my children couldn't be here. My son works in LA. He's a screenwriter. And my daughter is running our cafe, so they couldn't be here. But I have a friend that's taking pictures, and I know it's going to be on the internet so they can watch it. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited.
Yes, we added to Lorianne. Lorianne, who do you have here?
This is my support group, and God knows I need it. Okay, this is Diana. We all know Raquel. And Lisa. And Lori. And Kim. And my best friend here, Kathy Story, and her wife, Tony. And these are my other best friends. And I'm the Cheshire Cat.
I just want to say congratulations to all 3 of you guys. It is amazing to watch people change the way that what happens in practitionership. There is a shift that it's life-changing. And I feel honored being part of that, I really do. And a shout out to Patty Mercado, who did most of the training here and then went on to do what she was called to do. You know, all you guys answered the call. I really appreciate it.
And we want to say that they're going to be practitioners at the tables, just regular. So make sure you support them when you see them on the tables. Go and get a spiritual mind treatment from them. You'll be so happy you did. Let's acknowledge these beautiful beings. We are very, very proud of these beloveds. So where the title came from is from Alice in Wonderland, and it came from the place in Alice in Wonderland where the Queen of Hearts, today's theme, the Queen of Hearts, said, so tell me what you did tomorrow. And Alice looked at her and said, I can't tell you what I did tomorrow. That's impossible. I don't know what I've done tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. And the Queen said, well, I dare say it's not a very good memory that only works in one direction. And that's a spiritual truth. A memory that only works in one direction means that we're not using our imagination. We're not planting the seeds for the good that we desire. So a memory that works in both ways means that we have planted seeds for our future, and we've known that they're coming forth as truth, as reality. And the Queen went on to say, why? When I was your age, I did 6 impossible things before breakfast. There's our Queen. Now, the Queen in the Alice in Wonderland is really a bully. She is really, thank goodness her husband, the King of Hearts, is kind, because she orders everyone to be executed, off with their heads. If she doesn't like anything about the person, off with their heads, send them to the dungeon, they're gone, they're out of here. And you know what? Sometimes we're like that. Sometimes we are like that. We're reactionary rather than consciously choosing and deciding. We react, and that's what happens to the Queen. Thankfully, her husband forgives them all, so they never do get executed, but they're dragged off to the dungeon, which makes it very hard to play the games that they're trying to play, like croquet with the with the birds, and yeah. Anyway, the Queen of Hearts. What can we learn from the Queen of Hearts? Well, let's go back to the whole idea of memory being used only one way. And we do have the ability, and Mary Morrissey called it time machine, which was very good. It anchors it in our consciousness. I can go forward. I can, in my imagination, I can go forward 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Just like I can go backwards in my memory, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or for many of us, way more than that. So if we really wanted to create lives that were filled with joy all the time, that were filled with laughter and beauty and grace and goodness, we would be planting seeds of thought every day for what it is in the future that we desire. So what is it in the future that you desire? And can you use your imagination to see yourself in that aspect of life? I know you can. And I know that you do. Unfortunately, for many of us, we've been taught that we've been taught that worry, which is the negative use of that same power, is a good thing to do. I remember my mom saying, well, of course I worry about you. I'm a mother. It was like justification for worry. I'm a mother, so I worry. Well, once we're religious scientists, once we understand the nature of thought, we do our best not to worry. Because when we worry, we're planting seeds of negation. We're planting ideas of what we don't want to happen so that they will happen. Now, okay. One of the things in Alice, and one of the things in Mad Hatter, and the whole thing, which is such a fun fantasy, might not be the Mad Hatter, but anyway, if it isn't, it's one of those other characters, and he says, we're all mad here. Everybody's crazy here. Alice decides she doesn't want to go where there are crazy people. And he says, everybody's crazy here. We're all crazy here. And when we get practicing the science of mind, other people might think we're crazy. Has that ever happened to anyone?
Yeah.
Someone thinks you're crazy because you're firmly believing in some idea that there's no proof for right now. There's no proof on the outer that that's going to be your experience, and yet you believe it, you're saying it, you're expecting it, you're accepting it, because that's the life that you're living. Our practitioners have learned to do that and to consciously create the lives that they desire, and then to help other people to create the lives that they desire. It's really a great thing. So I'd say that's the best thing the Queen of Hearts has to offer to us. I have to at least tell you that I'm perfectly well, and my cats are perfectly well.
Yay.
And, yeah, yay, because last Sunday I was not so perfectly well. I was kind of beat up by my cat. And, but I'm perfectly well, and they're perfectly becoming adjusted. So I was looking up cat jokes, and I found, what do you call the epitome of catness? When a cat is getting an award, what would you call it? No, you would call it a cat has trophy. Or a catastrophe. Right? A catastrophe. Yes. Yeah. Yes, cat has trophy. Yep. Not too many others that are really all, but they were all sort of the same ilk. And our cats are hissing. So, the whole idea is to take lightly what it is that you desire. And a friend of ours says, sometimes our conscious mind stands at the gate of what we're trying to plant and says, no, I can't believe that. No, I can't believe it. And it won't let us plant the seeds that we want. And so I'm going to share with you a trick to trick your subconscious mind. Think of something that you'd really like, really love, something you'd really love, but you don't know how to create it because your conscious mind tells you that's not going to happen. Like, I'd really love to have $2 million in my retirement account. I'd really love that. I don't have that. So I don't know how to create it. I'd really love it though. So here's the trick. I have $2 million in my retirement account. I could say bank account. In my retirement account, and I have no idea how I did it. And I have no idea how I did it. Because now I'm saying to that guard at subconscious mind, it is true, but I don't know. I don't consciously know how it could be true. Think of the great ways you could use this. I really love to be 20 years younger than my biological age, but I don't know how to do it. I am 20 years younger than my biological age, and I have no idea how I did it. See? It's just using that idea. Give me some. What is it that you really love, but you think it might be the I am word? Not the I am word.
I am thin.
Okay, and I have no idea. Okay. So I am thin, and I don't know how I did it. I am thin, and I don't know how I did it. Thank you, God. Always, always, always be very grateful for whatever it is you're creating.
I speak Spanish.
I speak Spanish, and I have no idea how I did it. And I have no idea how I did it. So once you keep, I speak Spanish, how do you want to speak it? Fluently, easily, effortlessly. I speak Spanish that way, and I have no idea how I did it. Play with it. Try it on. What I notice is I tried a couple on with my friend, and there's one that's actually coming about, and it's like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I did it. But I did it. In other words, the law of attraction is always working. That divine mind is always saying, yes, 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 my beloved. But we need to be so careful with the seeds that we're planting, and especially with the seeds, the things that we're digging up and saying, no, it's not this. See, how do you know that that person that irritates you isn't the Buddha, isn't the Jesus, isn't the Christ, isn't the one that is here to transform you? How do you know that? I found out that that person is my greatest teacher, and I have no idea how it happened. That's a good way to look at things. Every single person that is in my life today is there by right of consciousness because I invited them, and I have no idea when I did it. Because I invited them. Remember the theme is encountering the impossible as possible. That really means making everything welcome, even the things that seem impossible. Say yes to it. Yes, I'll be silly for the month of August. Yes, I'll play. Yes, I'll dress up. I'll do something to participate. I'll get silly. I'll get relaxed. I'll laugh. And I'm willing to see a greater idea, bigger result than ever before. To understand, to accept newness, accept creativity, to accept that big idea. A few weeks ago, I talked about Raymond Charles Barker would just say, bark, when he was stuck with something, he said, Barker, you need a bigger idea. So say to yourself, I need a bigger idea, or I'm making welcome a bigger idea. And that bigger idea is so much fun. It's so good to be experiencing this bigger idea. Each one of us is exactly in the right place on our spiritual path. But if any of you have a longing for a greater awakening, a greater realization of the good that you are, please consider taking a class. Please consider getting involved. Please consider being part of something that is wanting to happen, not just through you, but it's life happening. And it's life that is awakening in each one of us. So be willing. Do I want you all to be the Queen of Hearts? Well, no, not really. I don't want you to be reactionary, but I want you to at least look for the good, and then praise that good. Look especially within yourself. You know, this morning when I tried on my costume, there were a whole bunch of voices in my head about, you can't wear that. It's too tight. You can't wear that. The hat doesn't stay on. Well, maybe that's part of the charm. Maybe that's part of what the Mad Hatter was supposed to be looking like. Anyway, those voices have said it's not right. We were talking yesterday as the panelists were waiting for the next thing to begin, we were just talking amongst ourselves about our path, our journeys, and how many years we've been in it and what we've learned over those years. The thing is, we're all still learning. Every one of us. So I could go to the very oldest person here and say, are you still learning? And I would hope the answer is always yes. Yes, I'm still learning. I'm not finished. They used to say, God is not done with me yet. God isn't done with you yet, or you wouldn't be here. You're here because you have another big idea to take on, to become, to express. We're in the express business, and we're not in the we're not here just to be spectators. And I remember reading this years ago, maybe I saw it, that in order to win, you have to be present. You know, the sign in Las Vegas, you have to be present to win. Well, you have to be present to win in your life too, meaning fully present to what's going on, meaning they have to fully participate in your life. And that means saying, yes, I'm in it, I'm as it, I'm for it. So, it just hit me, I should ask you, has someone got a really good joke about Queen of Hearts, or Alice in Wonderland, or Impossibilities? I bet someone has. And I bet that person's shy. Lorianne.
She's not shy.
Meow. Meow.
That's a joke? That's a great joke, Lorianne. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. I did start with cats. All right. So, when I was a kid, when I was like school-age kid, but not a teenager yet, so pre-teen, I loved to pretend I was on a stage singing and dancing. And I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to practice sometime in August, maybe August of 2021. Sometime in August, I'm going to do it. Because it didn't say which year, but sometime in August, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to surprise you because I'm going to be so comfortable at it, and it will be just like the most natural thing in the world for me to do.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. And what are you going to do? What are you going to decide to do that is a bigger idea for you? What is it that you're going to... Mary, did you want to see?
So I took the prosperity class. I took the prosperity class.
Yes.
And I didn't know how I was going to get where I wanted to go from where I was at. And I imagined a beautiful space where I could do beauty as a spiritual practice and do dressing and give people back themselves, you know, shine forth from the inside out. And that was at the end of June. We finished the prosperity class, and now I just moved into a beautiful space. I rented out my home. I have passive income, and I'm in a space where I can have seminars to create the classes that I want to hold and other people to participate in. And it just happens so fast. It's impossible. It's not possible. But here I am.
But here you are.
And all these people came. Steve was a great support, and I had all these people come and help me because I thought I had to do it all by myself. But people showed up.
Yeah.
And it was impossible.
And Mary, you just said the whole truth. When we think we're doing it all by ourselves, we're in the wrong business. We're doing it incorrectly. Because there's a power for good in the universe, and it is flowing through each and every one of us, and that is what's doing the work. That is what's bringing our dreams, making us come true to the dreams that we have. So, anybody else? That was perfect. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So in that case, I'm going to do the other thing that I do really well, and that is to pray.
Yes.
So,
Pray 'em up.
and so it is. Here we go. In this holy moment of right now, I let the silliness that I am become evident, become known. I let the joy that is my natural birthright, that is the truth of my being, be fully present. I let it just flow out of me as naturally and easily and completely as life itself is being. Because I am one with that source of all supply, one with that infinite mind, one with life itself. And in that awareness of oneness, I speak my word for myself and for each one in the first person. I know that I am here on purpose, and I am here to lift up each and every person I encounter here to say yes, yes, yes to the life that is all around me, and to remind myself that it is for me. I am here to be perfectly healthy, and in every age and stage of my life, to love the being that I am, and express that divinity as the beauty, wholeness, wellness, health, radiance that I am. I am here to love deeply and to let the love that I am flow out from me as ever-increasing connection with all others. So I love freely, I love fully, I love completely. I love and deeply. And furthermore, I speak this word for prosperity, that prospering power is natural and normal, and I accept it. I make it welcome. I encounter it as possible. I encounter it as good and very good and only good. And so the prosperity that I am, the creativity that I am, the wellness that I am, natural and normal. And I speak this word of letting go of any self-criticism, of any self-limiting ideas, of anything that's too small, that doesn't fit, that is not the right size. I let it all go. Everything is perfectly fitted. Every relationship is perfect. Every conversation is perfect. I get the most out of it because I am open and receptive to the greatness of spirit that is all around me. I am open and receptive to new ideas that are flowing through me and to me. I am open and receptive to God's grace, to God's good, to God's joy. And with my heart filled with gratitude, I simply place this word in law. It's complete, it's done. And please say with me, and so it is. Amen. And now the Colombo Brothers.
Wow, I'm gonna play another song for you guys. This one is called Simply Human. This one, this has some big concepts behind it. My brother was the main songwriter, but I'm gonna try to do it justice. But basically, a lot of it is about, the nature of the universe. One day, you can have everything. You can be a CEO, billionaire. Next day, you could be on the street. Understanding that you can have it all at the same time. Am I doing it justice, bro?
Oh, totally.
All right.
It's actually about Alice in Wonderland.
See, there we go. Nice tie-in. I wish I had a cool hat to wear while you said that.
Yeah, it's basically it's a story about two people. Who, one's a homeless person, and the other one is newly homeless. And the homeless person is looking up to the person who had it all, and it was like, "Wow, how'd you get here?" And you realize that there is enough to go around for everything, for everybody. Because I'm a homeless guy and I'm still happy. It's a really specific story, but anyways, this one's called Simply Human.
Pardon me, my soul and stranger, may I ask a thing or two? Red on your hands and green in your pocket. Ooh, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? I can see your hands are shaking. I can see your ego bruised. Black in your eyes and gold in your rocket. Ooh, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? Simply human. There's enough to go about. Will you fool me? How's it feel to be without? Simply human. There's enough to go about. Will you fool it?
I think we need to thank Jamie for bringing us the boys.
And thank you to her sons. What beautiful voices you have. Such great harmonies and wonderful lyrics. Anyway, thank you, thank you. It's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. If the stewards would please come forward. And yep, we're even doing something different here. We're singing Kumbaya.
Oh, cool.
And then something else that Diane's going to do. But for now, we'll just be grateful as we always are. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
You
I'd like to acknowledge those of you who are in service today or have been this week. So if that's you, would you please stand so we can pour a lot of love on you. Thank you for everything you do. Would the practitioners who are in service today please remain standing? Practitioners remain standing. Now the practitioners today remain standing. Please make So what we have today, Joanne Leon, Marlene Cutler, and Pam Rock. And stop by the prayer tables and get a taste of what we do. Your life will be transformed if you seek the services of a practitioner. Let's acknowledge all of our practitioners. If you're here for the very first time, we have a small gift for you, and all you need to do is indicate that's you by standing up, raising your hand, or right here. So keep your hand raised because they need to bring it to you. We're going to acknowledge you. We're going to affirm you. Did I miss anybody? Okay, so congregation, repeat after me. Welcome to our center. Welcome to our center. We know who you are. We know who you are. And you are welcome here. And you are welcome here. There is nothing to fix. Nothing to fix. Just something to know. Just something to know. And so it is.
And now, announcements featuring your favorite quotes from Alice in Wonderland.
Birthday. Is that my birthday?
First of the month.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy
And now, announcements featuring your favorite quotes from Alice in Wonderland.
Begin at the beginning, the king said very gravely, and go on until you come to the end. Then stop.
Please join us after the service today for our communal feast.
The food doesn't actually have "Eat Me" written on it, but it looks so good that it might as well say it.
I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then.
And if you would like to talk about that, Conscious Connection will meet today from 12 to 12:30 for a group discussion about today's topic. Childcare is available.
But I don't want to go among mad people, Alice remarked.
Oh, you can't help that, said the cat. We're all mad here. I'm mad. You're mad.
How do you know I'm mad, said Alice.
Well, you must be, said the cat, or you wouldn't have come here.
But you can come here for Wednesday's Wisdom and hear Aidan Greeny speaking on the topic, Let's Get Connected.
One of the deep secrets of life is that all that is really worth the doing is what we do for others.
It's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then.
But today, Dr. Heather has one more class from 12 to 30 to 2:30 on the Quick Start. Teaches the basic principles of the science of mind and spirit, and this is presented on a love offering basis.
She generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 9:30, Reverend Dr. Roger Julien is teaching an 8-week accredited class, Igniting Your Life with Bible Wisdom, devoted to the spiritual wisdom found in the parables of Jesus.
Let me tell you a parable, said the Mad Hatter. Why is a raven like a writing desk?
I give up.
Have you guessed the answer yet?
No, I give up, Alice replied. What is the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Have I gone mad?
I'm afraid so, but let me tell you something. The best people usually are.
And speaking of that, beginning on Sunday, August 11th at 12:30, Dave Friedman is having an 8-week accredited class called Self-Mastery, the Emergence of the True Self. And here he is to speak of this.
Come on, flick her off. Here you go.
Good morning. I thought that was watermelon. I just wanted to say hi and invite you all to come out because one of the things Dr. Heather said today, where's your hat? There we go, is that we don't do this by ourselves. So everything's a lot more fun. And the one thing I think is the most important part about this whole class is it's a healing of the perceived separation between us and spirit. The perceived separation. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be all kinds of things to do to make this thing happen. It's going to be right here. Y'all are already here. So come on in, sign out on the kiosk so I can print stuff. And thank you very much.
Who in the world am I? Ah, that is the great puzzle.
Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?
That depends a good deal on where you want to get to.
I don't care much where.
Well, then it doesn't matter which way you go.
Yeah. Imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality.
And now, let us welcome those fonts of imagination, the children.